for the fast 5 things you need to know. We'll start your day off swirly, it's the toast. I sound amazing.
Good morning, millennials, and welcome back to the Toast, day 2 of having a Gargy-Pargy Grammy Award-winning intro theme song. Hey, Jax, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and it's nice that it's day 2 of the theme song, but it's day 3 of the week. It feels like we're cheating the week a little bit because you would expect it to be a Tuesday, but then it is a Wednesday.
That's so true.
So, life hack, drop a new song on a Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
We're so glad to see the reception from the song. Like, everybody feels the way about it that we do.
No, let me tell you how relieved I was. I don't know why, but I was just like, we're going to launch a song and everybody's going to hate it. Like, I feel like we've kind of been in a hater era recently, like with the frames and people I just feel like every time we do something, they're like, I can feel like it was should have been this way. And I was like, I can't wait for them to say they didn't like the one we chose or that the production was bad. And I didn't even see one negative comment. Like, I cannot believe how much people loved it so much.
I saw one negative comment and she was aware. She was like, I see that I'm the only one who's thinking this, so I'm probably wrong.
A self-aware troll. Yeah. I kind of love that.
She wasn't even trolling. She was like, I don't even want to give voice to what she was saying, but she was very much aware that she was the only one.
Well, I'm so glad that people loved the song
and of course it was
much.
She.
Of course. You're telling me?
Of course it was a she because 98% of our audience is women.
Our listeners, 98, it's literally 99. I'm so glad everybody liked the song as much as we do, and I'm so glad everybody's excited to be listening to this thing every day before the show. But I did want to address a little bit of the controversy around the song.
Oh, okay. So there is controversy.
Do you know this?
Tell me and I'll let you know.
You know, eagle-eyed viewers were quick to point out the lyric change.
Yes.
The original song that Becca, who is the
Jackson
swirly who won.
We're your hosts.
And when we got in the studio... No, never. When we got in the studio, we decided to change Jackson Turdy to Jackson Claude.
Yeah. It's just more timeless.
It's more timeless. It is my government name. And I think if you come to this show, you know you're getting Jackson Claude. And then you learn you're actually getting Jackson Turdy. It's a little bit inside baseball.
It is.
And I wanted the song to be for everyone, new listeners, potential new listeners. And, as much as I think Turdy is here to stay, nicknames also do evolve. Mm-hmm. So to record it and make it in the record books.
It's Jackson Turtle.
We're your
or we just keep re-recording the song every time you change your name.
It's an expensive venture, but I'm down.
Yeah, no, but Jackson Claude are the hosts of this show.
Correct.
We can riff off that all day long, but when you come to this show, just know we're Jackson Claude and we're your hosts.
It's your favorite show. Oh, when I sing it to myself, and I was singing it all day yesterday, I get really crazy by the end. We'll start your day off swirly. It's that toast. And then also I've added a couple of riffs. Tell me if you guys have also been doing this. I feel like it's the natural progression of the song. We'll start your day off swirly, twirly, girly, shirly, nurly, pearly, dirly. It's the toast. I could go on literally the whole alphabet.
It's the toast. Clink.
Clink. Oh. Where was that idea when we were in the studio?
Every great thing that we do, it will evolve in 6 months. Maybe a re-recording. Maybe, of course, people were asking for theme song 10-minute version, which we'll have to work with Becca on that.
No, the clink is actually inspired, and I just wanted to know where that. You're so the queen of coming in with the best idea at the worst time.
I know you're still mad about Bad Blood for the Eras.
I am. I'm still mad about when you gave me an idea for the Eras tour outfits with a group of girls that the day before I left for Nashville. So. It's kind of becoming your thing.
No, it's until it's pressing and completely top of mind. I'm not thinking, but now this is how we do. We are just riffers.
That's just how we do. What song is that?
I don't know.
'Cause when the sun set, baby, on the avenue. What song is that?
I don't know. I was singing, this is how we do. Yeah, chillin' straight back there and then we do it like that. This is how we do.
Hey, hey. Hey. So yesterday was just a great day for women in music.
Yes, however, we need to get the song on Spotify. And I'm not.
We're working on it.
This is so important to me because I was playing it on repeat in my house. The kids love it. It's 30 seconds though. So I literally was starting the podcast over. And I know other mamas out there, especially if they want to bring their kids into, they want to educate their kids into the world of the toast.
It's a clean song. There's no explicit version.
We need it on Spotify so that I can put it on repeat 1.
Okay. If there was an explicit version though, how would it go? I think it would go like this. Good morning, bitches. It's the fucking toast. It's Jackson, Claude, and we're your hosts. It's your favorite fucking show, the fast 5 fucking things you need to fucking know. We'll start your fucking day off swirly. It's the fucking
Let me tell
toast.
you, I'm so glad that that's not a thing.
Sound off in the comments. Do you want me to release an explicit version for the adults?
No, thank you.
Listen, we do what the audience wants, so.
Yeah, to a degree, but we have to be true to ourselves.
So sound off in the comments.
We have to be true to ourselves. Actually, the commenters popped off yesterday being really helpful for Toast Playlist. So I just, of course, right where you left me.
Right where you left me.
So I need to just add that.
Dust collected round my pinned up hair.
What else did they say? There was like one other song that was like so obvious.
Yeah, was it also tailored?
Probably.
Let me look. Hold on.
Probably. And then, of course, there are songs like The Climb, but that's not what we don't like sing except for Gisno, but we don't like work the lyrics of The Climb into everyday life. Love this song. Okay.
Oh, no. I'm looking for what people said. Yeah, it was right where you left me, like obvious.
I'm having his baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It could be on like the extended playlist.
You should wear this hat to the party tonight.
Oh, Dancing Through Life, original.
Oh, the Max and Ruby theme song.
Of course. You should wear this hat to the party tonight.
Oh, and the AI song.
Oh, I'm so glad
I'm so glad my Travi made it to the big game.
One step closer to dirty being my last name.
So today's show is like so popping off for so many reasons. One, I'm feeling really good about the state of my bowels. I don't want to jinx it, but like I hated having to run off yesterday's episode. I hate when my body and my brain aren't in sync. Like it's not the time for a poo. It's Dear Toasters. Sorry to the DTQ, the Dear Toasters community, that we didn't get that extra Dear Toasters.
They got fed.
But I owe you one. I own that. So that's exciting. 2, it's Wednesday, which just means it's hump day. Vibes are aplenty.
Vibes are high.
And we have the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, which we did miss last week because
we decided to watch, what was it?
Love is Blind.
Oh, by the way, I've been doing my homework a little bit every night. Makes a big difference. And I am out of Honduras. And I am in the big city, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
So by Monday, when they release, I think, like 2 new episodes on this Friday, keep going. And then we should all be caught up on Monday.
We should all be caught up. So that's very exciting. Progress has been made. And I watched the last 2 Rehob. And there's a lot to recap, actually.
I also watched the last 2 Rehob. So we have Beverly Hills recap. And then we have major news in the podcasting space. And I feel like we were just talking about this on the Toast. And I'm so glad we did, because now our listeners have like a lot of context. And we kind of clued them into like an underground story before it launched.
And like turned out where there was smoke, there was a big blazing fire.
Somebody called 911. Shorty fire burning on the dance floor. So the big Alix Earle podcast drama is going to be a story today. And I just want to let you guys know, like for my own curiosity, because this is news that like I find so interesting, but also I know that like people want to know. I was like making calls yesterday, like really trying to find out what happened. Like I called a bunch of people, like industry people. Like I was really trying to get the tea. And let me say, like there's limited tea there. So a lot of the stuff that you're seeing on social media, like from just random people, don't believe, because I feel like I have good insight. And I'll tell you everything I found out. But like these are 2 people who are extraordinarily private.
Yes, but also at this point, I can't remember what I know from like social media, from like, you know, public channels, and what I know from private channels, which is good for everyone because I'm just going to share what I know.
Yeah. And I have some stuff to share. But I would be cautious about, because like, I saw so much stuff on TikTok.
Our conjecture as well, just being ladies in the industry.
Exactly. And, like you know, women in the know.
Women with a network.
Yes,
because you don't just drop your biggest show. You don't.
We're going to talk about it. Is that our lead story? Did anything else happen yesterday?
Of course, it's our lead story. It's really like everyone's really talking about it. Usually like some podcast news, like we're more jazzed over than the people. But the people want to know the status of Lix versus Lex.
Oh, and so we also need to talk about how we're going to talk about these 2 without getting confused. And I think we just go Earle Cooper. Like we have to use last names.
Can I go Lix Lex?
Like no, because we actually need to be like clear.
But Lix would be Alix with an I. Alex.
No, we get it. Like, but it's a little too.
We'll see how it goes.
And hold on. I just have to send an important text message. I'm on a fact-finding mission about this particular story.
Okay. Who are you texting?
I can't say a source.
Am I in the chat?
I can't say that either. But wait, I had one more thing I wanted to say.
I am in the chat.
Lex Licks. And the other thing I wanted to say, I can't remember. It'll come back to me. My brain has been really bad recently. Like it's one of my least favorite things about pregnancy. Not
Brain
that I have
camp.
any favorites. Not that I have any favorites. Like
The toast is brain camp, so get to work.
the toast is brain camp.
We said that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I actually do remember that. I'm not that dumb. Yeah.
That would be really
I
crazy.
did. Yeah, no, I remember. And then I had the most amazing night last night. One, because I saw Shannon Ford's comedy show and it was fabulous. But two, the place where she held her comedy show, like served food, and I got a cookie in a skillet.
Yummo.
Yeah. And it was so parchy. And the thing is, I just looked at the menu and I saw like cookie skillet. I didn't see what type of ice cream. I just said like, yeah, I'll have that. And it was dark in there because it was a comedy club.
I hate not being able to see my food.
I know. And now I hate it because I can't even tell you what I ate. I know it was a chocolate chip
Like
cookie.
you can't replicate it at home.
But there was something different in the ice cream. I feel like it was cookies and cream ice cream with like bits of Oreo.
It was at
City Winery.
Okay, let's look up the City Winery menu.
You guys, and let me tell you, not to sound like so fat, it was so small. Like it was so small. And Margaret and Ben like kept taking bites. And I'm like, can you scram the fuck out of here? It was so good. A cookie. I've never actually had a bad cookie in a skillet. Obviously, some are better than others. Pargy. BJ's Brewhouse has an amazing cookie in a skillet. I feel like it's such a classic chain restaurant dessert menu item.
No, I feel like when you put a cookie in a skillet, like things are going to go well for you in life.
Yeah. Do you own any of the skillets that like you bake a cookie in?
Like a small skillet?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be small.
Like the size of a cookie. It would be the size of it. I'm not going to put it in my big Dutch oven.
No, they do make ones in restaurants that are like obviously meant to share. So it's like the size of a small pie.
Cute. No, I don't think so. I think I have to go to the Le Creuset outlet. You're right.
I think you need
should.
to get on that for the next time I visit.
Oh my God, I would love to make you a cookie in a skillet.
Did you find it?
No, but I'm determined now. Hold on, just
Yeah.
view menu. Okay, everyone. So we can all make
And
it
it's
at
a
home.
small dessert menu. And the others looked so good too, but I saw skillet. It's like
concert dining menu, not restaurant menu, right?
concert, yes.
Oh my God, thank you for City Winery. Okay.
I didn't know they had multiple menu items. Okay, go.
Wait. I gotta go to dessert. Dark chocolate mousse. Jack's skillet cookie. Jack's. Okay. House-made cookie milk ice cream and port ganache. That sounds like
No.
alcohol.
There wasn't, oh my God, no way. But there wasn't ganache. That's not what I ate. There was like Oreo in it.
Port ganache
There was like chunks of...
made from chocolate and cream. That sounds like you definitely had port ganache.
Okay, maybe there was port ganache, but there was other stuff in there too. It was like a cookie crumble.
Similar question. What the heck is ganache?
What the heck is ganache?
It's a glazed icing sauce or filling for pastries made from chocolate and cream. Parchi.
You guys, it was so good. Like, it made my whole night. It was such a fabulous night. So good to see Shannon. Like, not her being. And by the way, it was like the show started at 7:50, so 8 o'clock. Like, I'm deteriorating in the chair, like breaking down. Ben is rubbing my back. I had to order a cookie skillet and a Diet Coke. Like, I'm breaking down. Shannon's over here, like, still in the throes of. She's out of her first trimester, but she's like still like nauseous and really at the thick of it. Doing a show in heels and a Miu Miu t-shirt. Like, I actually wanted to kill her. I'm like up in the balcony. Almost, I have to call an ambulance. Like, I seriously, Taylor Strecker at one point was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I can't even explain it. Like, I'm just not okay." It was just late for me. And Shannon's up there, like, looking like a model. You would never know she's pregnant. Leather pants, stilettos, a hair in a slick back pony, really setting an unrealistic standard for women.
It's important in life to not compare yourself to Shannon Ford because you will always come up short.
So true.
Like waking up at 5:30 a.m., like on her own,
So true.
taking down her Christmas tree hungover. Like, you can't compare yourself to this girl.
Okay, it's true. It's really true.
So,
That's a good way of looking
I
at
love
it.
having Shannons in this world to aspire to.
No, I actually, like, I don't aspire to that. Like, I'm so tired. I could, like, even my aspirations are exhausted, you know?
Yeah.
So she was great. She's going on like a 25 city tour, and it's presented by Spritz. So there was Spritz everywhere. It's a real TNN synergized event, and I highly recommend attending. It was also just like fabulous swirlies around, you know?
Yeah, she's coming to Florida. She's doing a couple shows in the Sunshine State, so check it out.
And I'm just like so excited for today's show. I can't explain it. Like, you know, when you're feeling, like good, you know?
Yeah, that's the best feeling, to feel good.
I only peed one time in the night, so like I'm ready.
Oh, nothing's holding her back. I actually wanted to tell you something funny because my husband played basketball last night.
In his intramural league.
As husbands do. And he texted me, he was like, when it was like late, I guess he was on his way home. He's like, I got hit in the face. I'm bleeding. And he came home and he really got hit in the face. He had like a scar in his eyebrow, but there was also a lot of blood. So like it was unclear what exactly.
I like that he didn't wipe off the blood until he came to the house. Like, so you could see like the real depth. Yeah. Like he's driving with like blood going into his eyeball,
like,
but he just wants you to see how hard I played. Now, was it like a contentious? Was it an accident? He started a fight?
I wasn't sensing any beef. Like I think he just got hit in the face with the ball. I was not hearing, he didn't even like mention anyone. Like I don't think it went down in a bad way. Like just classic, things happen when you're playing intramural basketball.
Yeah.
With your friends.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous game.
Well, we're wishing him a speedy recovery. Like
and then
truly.
This morning he was like, you didn't ask how I'm doing. I was like, oh, I actually thought about how you're doing. But he wasn't in the room when I thought it.
That's even more like impactful.
Yeah, no, I was like doing my makeup and I'm like, my husband. How's he doing?
You're like offering to cover up his big bruise. Does he have like a black eye? How do things look in the light of day? Just
like a scar in his eyebrow. Not bad.
Oh, that's like so badass. Yeah. An eyebrow scar. I feel like all the bad boys have like a little bald spot in their eyebrow.
From that time
from
they
a
got
scar
hit at basketball.
Who am I thinking of? Charlie Puth has that.
Mm-hmm.
Miles Teller?
Yeah.
Because he was like in an accident growing up. It's a very chic, edgy, bold look. Like your boys will look up and be like, wow, my dad's a fucking
He goes
badass.
hard in the paint.
In the paint. In his Jewish intramural local league.
I'll tell him that.
Is it a Jewish league or just a league of Jews?
League of Jews. Like, I don't think
also
you have to be Jewish. You just happen to be Jewish.
Got it. Cool.
So I guess now without further ado, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
Oh my God, I'm like doing so many things. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb this morning because I'm waiting for a particular bit of gossip that I might be able to share on the toast. And so like I'm doing a lot of things. So I'm not ready. Can you say that one more time?
Oh, okay. So right now, without further ado, it is time for the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by CoverGirl. Super boost your lashes with new Lash Blast Super Cloud Mascara from CoverGirl. If you're looking for weightless length and light as air lift with the air whipped formula infused with vegan collagen, vitamin B5, and amino acid, then look no further than the new Lash Blast Super Cloud Mascara from CoverGirl. You can experience up to 24 hours of clump-free, smudge-free, flake-free wear. It's gentle on lashes, and it's also easy to remove because sometimes like you can find a mascara that works for you, but then you can't get it off. So it's hard to like cover all your bases. And this is a fabulous mascara. CoverGirl, it's just like since I'm a young woman, well, I am a young woman, sorry. Since I was a little adolescent girl, I feel like my first mascara was CoverGirl. My last mascara on earth will be CoverGirl. They really crush it for such a great price point too. The dual-sided Cloud Flex brush wraps and extends your lashes. The short bristles load and lift the lashes while the long bristles will separate them and lengthen because I love that look. I feel like sometimes you have to like teeter off between having thick lashes that are like short and clumpy or long and voluminous ones that are thin. So they really cover all different lashes to give you like length, volume, and like a nice curl. It's only from Easy Breezy Beautiful CoverGirl. Of course, so important to note that CoverGirl products are clean, vegan, cruelty-free beauty products so you can feel good. And if you're heading to pick up some new mascara, check out, it's called the CoverGirl Lash Blast Super Cloud Mascara, only from Easy Breezy Beautiful CoverGirl. I love that they never change their slogan. It's like literally, it's timeless to me. Today's episode is also brought to you by Beekeepers Naturals, which is a brand we have worked with before, but I can honestly say I've never felt as emphatic as I do now because I never want to get sick, but like at this stage in my life, like I can't get sick. You should have seen me at the comedy show last night and I felt fine. Like if I get sick, I won't be okay. So being really preventative and like putting good things in your body is super helpful. And Beekeepers Natural is such a great option. I feel like a lot of my favorite health girlies were talking about Beekeepers Naturals before I got into it. So their mission is to reinvent the medicine cabinet. They merge modern science with natural medicine to create clean, effective products that actually worked. Propolis is their hero ingredient, and it's basically the medicine of the beehive. It delivers antioxidants, vitamin C, iron, B vitamins, and uniquely beneficial compounds that support immune health. So Propolis helps defend your immune system, it supports whole body health, and it fights oxidative stress with antioxidants. It's the defender of the beehive, and Beekeepers Natural is committed to bring you the most potent bee products. So no other propolis comes close to this level of identification, consistency, and standardized of bioactives. So the propolis contains vitamin B, C, and D, zinc, antioxidants, and it has more than 300 beneficial compounds. Go to Beekeepers Naturals today. They are offering an exclusive offer for the toasters when they go to beekeepersnaturals.com/toast, or you can just enter our code TOAST. It'll get you 20% off your order. That's BEEKEEPERSNATURALS.com/toast or enter code TOAST. Beekeepers Naturals products are also available at Target, Whole Foods, Amazon, CVS, and Walgreens. Again, that's beekeepersnaturals.com/toast. And check out their immune support spray and their vitamin C.
You feel a little
the spray for your throat.
Come on. Hit it with the spray. So good for kids. And they also make lollipops that have all of those great benefits. So like you could give it to your kids if they're getting a little something and they're having the best time. Our first...
You're timeless to me.
Our first story. Meghan Markle.
Good one.
Our first story. Yesterday, Variety dropped an exclusive article saying that Earle's Hot Mess podcast has been dropped by Alex Cooper's Unwell network. So here's the deets from Variety as it dropped. And this feels like more of like a press release.
Yes.
And they had all the info and then everybody else is like extrapolating from that. So Earle's Hot Mess podcast has been dropped by Alex Cooper's Unwell network. Sources say SiriusXM will also no longer sell ads for the show and that the Unwell network has renounced all rights to Hot Mess so that Earle can freely explore future opportunities. The move comes amid growing chatter on social media and the toast of a feud between Cooper, host of Call Her Daddy, and Earle, the party girl influencer with a massive TikTok following. Speculation of a rift grew when Earle skipped an Unwell Super Bowl party in New Orleans, even though she was in town. And then this is me adding, also don't forget the Spencer Pratt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In August 2023, as a reminder, Cooper announced that she was launching the Unwell network and signed Earle to join the fold. So like Unwell and Hot Mess, like that was their first podcast, right?
We knew Alex was going to be launching a network, and it was she was announced with one other girl,
Madeline.
but it was huge, Alex Earle at the time. She still is, and so it really kind of, I feel like they built the rest of the network like on the initial talent of Madeline and Alex. Yes,
their initial talent signings included Pretty Lonesome with Madeline Argy, who alongside Cooper and Earle would quote develop a variety of multi-platform concepts and projects across such silos as pop culture, beauty, fashion, and lifestyle.
So I remember what I was going to say at the beginning of the show, because I saw this all over social media and I was reading comment sections and like literally I could not roll my eyes hard enough at people being like, these are two separate people, could have fooled me. Like, shut up. I want to say, anybody who's saying that, like, I think you're dumb and annoying, okay? But I feel like this article confirms any sort of suspicions anybody had about these two having beef. Not because the shows are no longer together, and we'll talk about why that might be, but because of the use of the word dropped, right? For a network that's very new, Unwell, like trying to make, stand out, for you to drop, like intentionally separate from your biggest talent, your biggest show, the most famous, recognizable person on your network, like that's doesn't make sense, right? Only if there's a reason, like a fight, a drama, a bad blood, would you drop someone?
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, oh, any suspicion I had, because there have been theories online being like, listen, this was just like not the right place for Alex Earle. And, Alex Cooper understands that. Like, there's not beef. They're just two successful women, like, doing their best. And I feel like with this headline, it's not that. Like, there's drama.
Yeah, this headline is contentious. If they were just going their separate ways, they could have even done it quietly, where she's removed from Unwell and they're not selling her ads, and Earle goes somewhere else. And then we hear later on, like, Earle is with Podcast One or Dear Me or whatever. Like, and that's what you would do if you wanted things to like remain peaceful. But considering they're already going their separate ways, I feel like this was, one more kick in the butt, like, and your drop, because it makes Hot Mess look unsuccessful, which I don't think it is. There are some like metrics that are public, which like her YouTube views, which are very high. I think it is the biggest show on the network. And that doesn't make sense why you would drop your biggest show.
Well, so yes, now we can talk about the success of the show, but it is relative, right? Because I think if you look at her YouTube numbers, they're pretty strong. I don't think a lot of people listen to the audio only version, but I think that's not a knock at Alex Earle. It's the generation, right? Like, young people are really not listening to podcasts. They love like to stream stuff and watch stuff on YouTube. So that's why her YouTube is so successful. And so I feel like, and I remember saying this, and I hate it, you hate to be like a hater, but I remember when Alex Earle signed with Unwell, I think I said this on the toast, but I know like my personal feelings were like, I feel like this is the wrong move, not because of Unwell, but because Alix Earle shouldn't be doing a podcast, right? Like she's of a generation, she's the face of Gen Z, and Gen Z is not huge into podcasting. It's definitely like an older medium. I feel like millennials really are the biggest. But also because when you look at the success of it, YouTube, right? That's where everyone's watching it. I don't see the show on the charts really. It launched and it was like, number 1 or number 2 in comedy. But then it sort of disappeared because everybody's watching on YouTube. So what does that tell us, right? People want to watch Alix Earle, whereas like podcasting is a listening medium. And what I see, because I follow her on all social media, I happen to think she's like so fabulous. And I see her, she goes to the Super Bowl, she goes to F1, she goes to Cannes Film Festival. She goes everywhere and she is checking 4 huge suitcases of podcast equipment. She's like vlogging, like this is my podcast. She sets up a little studio in every hotel room she does to record a podcast episode just so people watch it, not so they listen to it. So I'm like, you are working so hard for what? Like start a YouTube channel and vlog. You bring 1 camera. Like you could literally not check 4 suitcases if you just, like I feel like the experiment of her being on Unwell, but just like having a podcast really probably taught her that she should be a vlogger. And she is on TikTok, but I mean, like if she wants to do long form content, she should be a YouTube blogger more than she should be a podcaster. So I think that she should have left Unwell because she should have left the podcasting space.
Yeah.
But I do think it's deeper than that. Like, I don't think that's why she left. Maybe I don't know if she enjoyed being a podcaster.
Well, she might still be a podcaster and she might still lug all that luggage because part of her YouTube channel will still be sitting on the couch talking, but recognizing that people aren't listening to it as much as they're watching it. But still, you want to have all that production. So I don't know. She has the IP to her show, which was also interesting. But when I saw that, like, I feel like there's no way Alex Cooper could not have given her the IP after everything that happened with Call Her Daddy. Because that's exactly what Alex and Sophia wanted, and what Alex ultimately got was like the rights to her show and to her name and everything that she built. So if she had withheld that from Alix Earle, I think that would just
it wouldn't have looked good.
So bad, so clearly bad. So she parted ways with her, gave her the show because previously that's what she would have wanted.
But also you have to think about like how Unwell needs to look at this. Like everyone's watching, right? Seeing how these two go their separate ways. But Unwell is currently in the process of their business where they're growing. They're signing talent. They're signing pre-existing shows. They just got that girl Avery's podcast. They're creating new shows with new talent like Grace. And so you want to be perceived as a network that like is good to work with, right? We're trying to get everyone to sign with us. So if you're over here stealing Alix Earle's IP, like, I don't know if that like makes you look good to potential podcasters who might sign with you.
Yeah, I know. I think that she had to give that up with, especially with like the Call Her Daddy drama of your.
And so, I mean, there's just so many layers to this. So now, like talking about the actual drama between these two, there's a lot of rumors. What I have heard is that there is like definitely bad blood between them, and it has been going on for a really long time. And I think that it, when they launched, like, you know, the Call Her Daddy episode of Alix Earle and Alix Earle's new show, it was like this big media thing. It was like good for a couple of months and it really hasn't been good since then. And a lot of it had to do with the episode of Call Her Daddy that Alix Earle was on. And Alix Earle not being happy with some of the questions she was asked and actually having requested edits be made of things she didn't want to talk about, and those edits not being honored. And then her dad coming on to manage her and her sister, bringing like another level of protection, because I do think a lot of the stuff that what I had heard, this is all alleged and like potentially untrue. What I had heard was that a lot of the stuff that Alix Earle wanted removed from that initial episode of Call Her Daddy had to do with her family. You know, she has a lot of family drama. Her dad had a very famous affair with Ashley Dupree, who was Elliot Spitzer, the governor of New York's. She was like this madam, and she had this like black book of clients, and it was like this crazy thing. And the biggest one was the mayor of New York, governor, excuse me, right? Elliot Spitzer. But it turns out one of the other men in the black book of like the wealthy men of the tri-state area was Alix Earle's dad. They actually ended up getting married. So that's Alix Earle's stepmom by now. Yeah, she has a very interesting family story, but it's like not her story to tell. It's a little traumatic. And so I think that Alix and the family were very unhappy with how the Call Her Daddy episode came out, and they had requested some things be taken out, and that wasn't honored, in addition to some of the questions about sex that Alix Earle wasn't comfortable answering, but those were also included against her will. So what I have heard was that it's kind of been bad from the beginning. And then there's like a lot of business drama, like behind the scenes, because these two girls for a while shared a publicist. Now the publicist no longer works with Alex Cooper.
And I think the publicist gets a lot of credit for bringing Earle
These two together.
Unwell, bringing these two together. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's definitely suspicious. Like, now you're only working with Alex Earle. It begs the question
that she took a side because there was a side to take because there was drama.
Right? Like if we're just extrapolating,
I don't
interpolating.
know. Like, it's definitely an interesting tidbit that could point to larger issues, but could also just be a coincidence. Like, not everyone works together forever. Like, either one of them could have moved on.
Another reason that, like, I know that there's something, like, bad between them is because you were just saying August 2023 is when they signed the Unwell Alex Earle deal. It is, what month is it? February. So that means the contract was probably up August 2025. It was probably a 2-year deal.
It's been a year and a half.
It's been a year and a half. So that means that, like, they really couldn't even work together for the next 4 or 5 months just to save face and, like, end this peacefully, like, finish out the terms of your contract. The fact that, like, they made it a year and a half out of 2 years. I had heard that the contract was up in the summer, and I think also it makes sense you would sign, like, a 2-year. That's how podcast contracts work. I don't know a podcast contract that's really less than a year. And it's usually, like, 1 year, 2 year, 3-year deals. So you couldn't even, like, finish out the last couple of months. It's so bad. There's something going on.
Yeah, of course there's something going on. And then also the use of the word dropped. Like, that is one final, like, middle finger to Alex Earle, because it makes her look unsuccessful. But that we know to be not true. So that's why it's even more nefarious.
It's similar to, like, TNN dropping Josh Peck. Like, your biggest, most recognizable star who's actually doing a good job. Why?
Yeah. No.
Unless we have beef with Josh Peck.
Right. And then you want to give him the finger on his way out the door.
Correct. So
and a way for, like, them to control the narrative a little bit. And who knows what Alex Earle will do, if she'll say anything or if she's just happy to be gone and is going to continue on her merry way.
And it's interesting to note that when TikTok was, like, dying, you know, the days leading up to the TikTok ban, Alex Earle launched a YouTube channel. So a separate channel. She has the Hot Mess channel, which has, I think, like, a pretty decent following. It's really hard to grow a YouTube channel, no matter how big your other platforms are, you know? So,
but she does Hot Mess with her sister mostly, and they, like, do remote episodes, right?
So in its second season, which just started a couple of months ago, the cover art changed to both girls, but Alex still does some episodes by herself, like with Braxton and, like, her college friends. So I had thought that it was being rebranded to, like, the Earle Girls show, which I think it totally should have been.
Yeah.
But now it seems like 6 days ago.
She'll still do that. I think that's been good for them. So I think she's still
265,000 subscribers on the Hot Mess YouTube channel, which is really good.
Yeah. I think she's still going to do that. But
Jackie, when you think about it, like, her episodes, they do really well, right? Like, between 100 and 200,000 views on YouTube per video. That's really good. But if you watch, like, her vlogs on TikTok, like, this girl's used to getting, like, 5 million views every video.
You can't compare a TikTok view to a YouTube video, long form video.
Of course not. But all I'm saying is, like, how much more work is this podcast episode for 200,000 views as opposed to a vlog on your TikTok that you could also do long form on your YouTube that's cheaper to produce and is going to yield better results.
Yeah, but, like, you have to, if it's a podcast, looking at, like, say 150,000 downloads per episode for a podcast is really strong. In the podcasting world. In the podcasting world.
All that to say that I think the lesson here, and I have felt this way from the beginning, is Alex Earle never should have, like, her next big thing in her career should have not been a podcast. It makes no sense. It's definitely an older thing. It's not very Gen Z. It's for somebody who got so popular because everybody's obsessed with watching her, like, her looks, her fashion, her makeup, her glam, her friends, her parties, like, that doesn't translate on a podcast. Podcast is really conversational. And so it was just the wrong thing for her to do. Not that it was wrong to go to Unwell. There is a conversation to be had about, like, forking over a percentage of your ad sales to a network like Unwell, whereas you could go to any other network and you have a better rev share, but, like, you give up more money of your ad revenue to be supported by Unwell because there's so many benefits to that.
Yeah.
So you could have the conversation about whether she should have gone to Unwell or not, but I think the conversation is, like, I don't think she should have had a podcast ever.
Yeah, well, that's, like, in the hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. Do you think she'll still continue doing a podcast?
If I were her, I would not. It is too much work for too little reward. Because, look, she has now her own personal YouTube channel, that she has promoted, I saw it one time. 120,000 subscribers. So that's half the podcast channel does, but she literally launched it a month ago and has promoted it once, and she's done 3 videos. Like if she just got into the groove of posting about her YouTube channel once a week, doing a vlog, like of her life, the parties, Miami, the events, Braxton, like she would be a huge YouTuber, like the biggest vlogger.
Okay.
And it's just, it's a lower lift, especially given how much she travels. Like to travel with 4 suitcases of equipment, like all right, to do it one time for like the Super Bowl, sure. Every time she goes somewhere, she went to Mykonos on this tiny little plane. I kept thinking, where's her podcast equipment? Like it's too much work for a gal on the go.
Yeah. What's in the
in
4
my opinion?
suitcases? The cameras, like
Cameras, tripods, lights, no, she has like a full-blown setup.
Yeah, but that's
And it looks great.
That's because of the YouTube.
Right. But you could also make a really premium YouTube video with like a Canon G7X, which is the size of a coffee, and like traveling Bluetooth microphones. Like seriously something you could keep in a laptop case. You can make really premium content.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. So
and I think that's more so what people want to see from her and less like conversations. Although there have been episodes of her podcast that people really loved. The one with her dad, people really liked. Obviously, the ones with Braxton, people really like. So see, that just like points to people being interested in you, you know? Podcasts are conversational. You interview people, like you talk about random things. They just like her. They want to see her life, like kind of reality show vibes.
Yeah. Well, that could be next for them. I do feel like sometimes her content like is trending that way when she's like, Earle Girls, like that's obviously the name of their show. And here
it's adorable.
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. That feels like a no-brainer.
Yeah, but the thing is like becoming a reality star these days does not yield even 5% as much money as being one of the world's biggest TikTokers. And it takes up all your time. Like Alix Earle is making so much money on the things that really take her the least amount of time, which is like short form content on YouTube. On TikTok. So for her to then like, you know, do an hour-long weekly podcast, like these things, I think reality TV show would be great for her fame-wise. It would take up a lot of her time, and you don't get paid like that much compared to the money she's making from like brand deals. She's launching a liquor company now.
But think of like, I'm thinking like D'Amelio's on Hulu. How much you think they got paid by Hulu?
Like average reality TV amounts. Like that, I think they did that to align themselves with Hulu. I think it was a part of a big partnership because they were both on Dancing with the Stars when it streamed on Hulu. And I also think that was like a fame thing because they were very internet. Mm-hmm. And I think that really gave them like a global, like people who, like your grandparents might have heard of it because they saw it on Hulu.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens next. Do you
the
think
Earle Girls would be a
Alix
fabulous
Earle is
show.
Gonna say something about this and like be like, here's my truth?
No. Because the interesting thing about Alix Earle is that she has had incredible success on social media without really doing like drama content. I think a lot of people like thrive off of views from like scandal and drama and friend breakups. Even that thing with Xandra, she like barely spoke about. She referenced it once in a podcast episode. She never even said Xandra. It could have been anyone. Like she actually does not do drama. Like she likes to just like live her life and post about it. So it's actually really refreshing. And so I think someone else would like see this as an opportunity to like get views and clicks. I don't think she sees that way. Like she's had success without that. She doesn't need it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But again, I'm just talking like out of my ass.
Yeah, I think it's like if nothing more happens, then it will stay quiet. But if another insult...
But Alix Earle could be mad. The dropped was a knife.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think she might be able to let that go and just like carry on because as you said, she doesn't like drama. But I don't know. I think if more happens, this is like what we said about Brianna and Grace, remember? We're like, if nothing more happens, they could be friends again.
Right.
Oh, and then of course, speaking of Grace, Dave Portnoy chimed in. This was really funny because Dave Portnoy posted a TikTok of a screenshot of him having had a call with Alix Earle, new cell phone number for 22 minutes. And then he was playing Circle of Life in the background and drinking.
So people immediately like forgot all the history here and were like, Dave is signing Alix Earle. No, he's not. He actually commented. I didn't even call her. It was a joke because when Brianna and Grace broke up and Grace left Barstool, like 5 minutes later, Alex Cooper posted a video of a screenshot of her phone call with Grace being like, I'm on it. So he was just copying. He said, but I didn't talk to her.
Yeah.
And Alix Earle would never go to Barstool. Like it's a unilateral move.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't. But it was just a funny thing that he posted. And then it points at like, is there drama between Dave and Alex Cooper?
So that's what I want to talk about because that's sort of one of the unanswered questions from all this. I feel like after the Grace thing, we never got confirmation because sometimes things have happened between Alex Cooper and Dave. And we're like, are these two still friends? And they're always like, yeah, like we see each other as business people. We're good. But after the Grace thing, I feel like there's actually beef.
And then him making this video, it's like, you wouldn't do that to a friend.
Yeah. And they usually let us know, like, we're good. But I feel like they're not.
I don't know. It might just be like a business adversary.
Rivalry.
Yeah, like where it's like, we're not going to start stuff because it's like, it's not personal, but it's not like we're best friends and I would trust you.
Right. I do think, though, Unwell needs to replace Alix's star. You know, they have this big new deal with SiriusXM, and I think a part of that deal is like hitting these download benchmarks every month that Alex Earle was probably helping with. So they do need another big name there.
Yeah. Which they were,
I wonder who
I
it's
think
going to
they're
be.
already like in acquisition mode. So
yeah, between like scooping up shows that are already successful and that already exist, and then like creating new shows with new talent, which is what they did with Alix Earle. So I'll be very interested to watch this saga. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and then they also had the other drama recently.
Oh yes, do you know about
drama.
it? Did I tell the
You
Jesus
told
drama?
me a little bit about it, and then I saw like a transcript of what was said.
So I was just talking about one of the podcasts they acquired was this girl Avery, who's like a big TikToker. She started a podcast and then Unwell acquired it. And so I guess to like promote her new, career on Unwell, she went on another Unwell podcast, Harry Jowsey, our favorite.
Harry Jowsey, our fave.
And they had a convo that people were really unhappy with. First of all, people were just like, Avery's thing is that she's like a mom of 3. She's married. She has kind of an ordinary life, but she's made it, extraordinary. And it's like, it's fun. I like it.
Funny mom content.
Yes, exactly.
Like comedic take.
Comedic, real moms being real,
Yeah. And funny.
And so she's having this conversation with Harry Jowsey, and the pushback was twofold. The first was that like just the episode was inappropriate. Like she was just like flirting with Harry, and she's married, being like, Harry, would you fuck me? Like don't worry, I had 3 C-sections. My pussy's pristine. And people really didn't like that. Like, because what are you implying? Like women who go vaginally don't have pristine pussies? Like it was not good. She like pissed off moms, which is not a group you want to piss off. And then she also pissed off the Christian community because she was saying, and I got her point at first. She was making a point of being like, the people who leave the nastiest comments on my social media always have like a Bible verse in there.
Yeah, that's like, people have been like,
people have said that. So that wasn't what people took umbrage with.
That's not like a new thought.
No, and it wasn't what people were offended by. She was basically saying like the hypocrisy of being a troll with a Bible verse in your bio isn't lost on me. But then she took it a little far, being like, and please, like if Jesus saw you, like he would bend you over and fuck you raw without a condom or something. And it was like, holy shit.
No, it like didn't stop. Here, I have the quote.
Okay, yeah.
But then I'm saying it.
I know, and I just said it, and like, don't clip that. I don't believe that. I love my Christian community.
Okay, instead of Jesus, like I'm just gonna say blank so that I can't be like taken out. Blank is going to spank you, lady, if you keep it up. He's gonna bend you over and fuck your ass. Blank is gonna go poop pirate on your ass if you keep up this bullshit. They deserve it with no lube.
With no lube, right? That's what they say. And what is poop pirate? Do I even want to know?
I think it's what you think,
I don't even have a thought. I don't know what that is.
Like
Urban Dictionary.
I have a thought, so tell me if I'm right.
Like I'll tell you if it's like an obvious.
Like I feel like it's like just the obvious progression of like what she's saying.
Okay, it's literally not on. It's like not coming up on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, maybe it's an original term.
Okay, we found it. No, it says a poop pirate is a person who lurks outside restrooms and waits for you to leave so they can rush in and sniff the toilet seat. That's not what I was thinking.
I don't know if that's what she meant. But anyway, so this is actually a very big controversy. Like I have been seeing it a lot. And she's very much like a TikTok person and I am not.
And then she released a video because like it was becoming too big to ignore. And she was like, the whole podcast was scripted. Like, she was actually like a really bad, she didn't clear anything up for me.
Got it. So they just came out of that one now into this one. But that's on just
that's
working with influencers and being on the internet.
And to be honest, like that's the sign of a healthy business in this industry. Like if you're not being talked about positively or negatively, like you're nobody. So it's like a tough part of the business, but it is like a sign of life.
Yeah. So now we'll see what happens next.
Yeah.
Are you ready for our next story?
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce is making news in 2 parts. One, he's saying how he listens to Taylor Swift's music when he's depressed. He said she has something for every mood. So him and Jace Face got a little emo on the pod talking about what kind of music they like to listen to when they're down in the dumps. So Travis had said that he listens to Taylor songs when he's depressed because she has something for everything. And Jason agreed that no matter what mood you're in, you can find some Taylor music to relate to. Then he said...
And that's true. It's a universal truth.
And then Jason said that he prefers sad country when he's feeling down. He said,
so
no matter how bad I'm feeling, there's a country guy who is singing about it and feeling way worse for me. And that gives me joy.
Stop. They're such like girls. I love the way they talk about this. Also, I'm on like the really like truly ill side of the social media where people were freaking out about this episode because he wasn't in his studio, Travis. And like people have been speculating for a couple of weeks that him and Taylor are on vacation because they haven't been spotted. And it's like him recording a podcast. It was just like a couch. It was like totally a hotel villa or something. Kind of confirms like they're on vacation. Like, okay, who cares?
So they're on vacation. Like his work just ended. Her work just ended.
It's called like when your vacation dates align. Like it wasn't, but like everybody's like, they're on vacation.
It's President's Week. People have off.
So I guess this confirmed that for them.
And then also the Chiefs GM reveals that Travis was battling a pretty big illness ahead of the Super Bowl loss. So he didn't say what it was. He said, we're never going to make excuses and talk about it. But I mean, yeah, he was battling with a pretty big illness there before the Super Bowl. He said it probably, like considering the way that the Eagles played, it wouldn't have made a difference how he was feeling. Right. But that, yeah, he was sick. He didn't share the diagnosis. But to me, like what comes to mind is like, I was sick for the Super Bowl too. And I felt really, really bad. And maybe Travis felt maybe he had the flu, COVID long flu as well.
And I want to say, I know he's one of the greats, but Michael Jordan like really ruined this excuse for other people because he like famously won the NBA championships with like the flu. And he was like, he had like 105 fever. He's like vomiting and shitting on the sidelines. And he played like the greatest game of his life. And it's like one of these famous sports hero stories. And like, so if Michael Jordan can do it, why can't Travis? You know, even though being sick is like such a valid excuse, normalize like not being able to do your best.
No, and like in this day and age, like if you play sick and you're like contagious with other people, like you're canceled. And I actually think
it's no longer admirable.
No, it's like you seriously could lose everything. I actually think Travis probably had COVID and that's why he won't say what it is. Because for years you literally couldn't play football if you hadn't been exposed to someone who had it. So to like take a positive test and then like go sweat on everybody, canceled.
I love this theory. He totally, the Super Bowl was a super spreader event.
100%. And now he's detoxing in a warm destination because that's like good for his sinuses because he had COVID. And maybe he has COVID too.
The sun is so good for those types of symptoms.
D.
Correct.
The oceans aren't closed anymore.
And also vitamin T.
Vitamin Lurd.
Which is so good for the sinuses.
It is. It's good for the soul. You got to heal mind, body, and soul.
You love to see like two grown men who are like from the sports world, rub some dirt in it, talking about like music and emotions. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Travis said he listens to music that is very telling of his mood. Okay, we need him to go public on Spotify.
Sounds like a children's book.
Go public on Spotify.
Yeah, prove it.
Prove it.
And I just want to say, like, Travis, you can listen to music that's not Taylor's. I feel like he does listen to Taylor's music, but he like says like, oh yeah, I only listen to Taylor. But like, what else do you listen to? It's okay to like listen to a bunch of different things, not only your girlfriends.
I think he really likes LMFAO.
Are you joking or?
No, I'm serious. That's something that I got from watching Catching Kelce. He like had them at a party and everyone was like so excited, like party rock. Those were like his guys. Like I think that's his favorite kind of music, party rock anthem.
Got it.
And that tracks.
That's beautiful.
But not when he's feeling sad. Do they have any ballads?
Sorry for body rocking.
So sorry for the rock.
I love it.
He also said the only way you can find yourself in the light is to find yourself in the dark first.
An unfortunate truth.
I'm trying to think about that. I feel like it's easier to find yourself in the light.
Well, you're speaking from your own point of privilege,
no,
yes.
I'm speaking from, like, just practically speaking, like it's easier to find oneself in the light.
Oh, I think he wasn't speaking in a physical sense. I think he was speaking in a spiritual sense. But yes, if I'm looking for something and the light is on, it's obviously way more helpful.
But I understand what Travis means. He probably saw that Michael Phelps commercial too.
Yeah, no, Travis is like reading off a quote card from like brainyquotes.com.
But it's like one that was like botched.
Like left on the cutting room floor.
No, it's just like they like mistyped. They typed it wrong. Yeah. But I understand what you mean, Travi.
And I'm so glad he made it to the big game.
I'm so glad my Travi made it to the big game, even though he had COVID and he played like arse.
He played real lame.
Oh, that's good.
One of my favorite fun facts is that the name Claudia is actually a Latin translation of the word lame, which
I
feels
don't believe
right.
you.
Oh, you don't?
No, I'm Googling it.
I've always known that to be true. And actually, one of Ben's parents' friends just gave me a gift, like the book of 1,000 names. It was really sweet. And of course, you know, the first thing you do is like look up your own name. And the definition is lame.
In English, Claudia is a girl's name that means lame or enclosure. It comes from the Latin word claudus, which means lame or crippled.
I told you. And I do feel like lame and enclosure, like that's me. Like I'm always in some sort of enclosure, whether it's like my bed.
That's so funny. That's like those videos of like, here are words that would be beautiful names except for what they mean. Like
mean.
Syphilis. That would be
gallbladder.
A beautiful name.
Yeah.
If it didn't mean disease.
It's really unfortunate.
I don't know if gallbladder would be a beautiful name.
I
saw one that was like oatmeal.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
Oh my gosh, funny. Okay, lame. It's Jackson Layman, we're your host. What does Jackie mean?
What story number are we on?
Who knows?
I know. I'm just
Claudia, if you have to ask, then you know. Did you see that?
3.
I sent Claudia a funny comment, which is apparently every day she says,
and some days we move at such crazy pace. Like I can't believe we're only on the 3rd story and we're already at an hour. Like, do you know what I mean?
Are we at an hour?
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, you're dilly-dallying so hard. Get to the story.
Jackie comes from meaning God is gracious, holder of the heel, and supplanter.
That's so wrong. I need to talk to our parents. Like, that is so wrong. Lame and holder of the universe. What was it?
It's Jackson Holder for your
like, it's so wrong.
Okay, I'll go to the next story. And you know what? I might skip over one story, okay? Will that make it feel
better? Well, that would be the second day in a row that we only did 4 stories. And I feel like the show did not suffer.
We kind of did like 2 or 3 with Unwell because we did like Unwell, then we did Avery, and we did Dade.
Grace, it's so true.
And Claudia says we're at an hour. But our next story is like some tragically beautiful news, actually. Jesus Guerrero's family is thanking Kylie Jenner for covering the hairstylist's funeral expenses and plan to honor him the best way that they can. So first of all, I want to correct because we were saying his name wrong the other day, and it's Jesus, not Jesus.
Wait.
You literally said it right back to me. I thought you were going to call.
Well, because you said it first.
Oh, but you
I assumed that you knew something I didn't know.
Oh, okay, but you didn't know it any more than I did.
You're the leader. You are like the leader.
You're always correcting me. You're always clowning on how I say things.
I wouldn't dream of it. I wouldn't dream of ever correcting you.
Of how I say things. But anyways, not only is she covering his funeral costs, she put out like a really beautiful tribute yesterday. And I think that they were even closer than people expected them to be. Like, he's been with her for a very long time. And I think one of her closest friends, she shared videos and photos of them traveling and in her home, like not just working together, but just like living together. And she shared how like he was a light who got her through so many dark times. So I think she's really grieving. I also know she wasn't at the SAG Awards with Timothy on Sunday. I think because this was all very I think she would have been there otherwise.
Yeah, no, because they've been together at most award shows. And like last week, I actually was just looking at pictures. Timothy hosted a Cartier event. It was like a poker party. And Kylie, like I just saw, they had a bunch of like film photos developed. And Kylie's like there at Chateau Marmont, like playing poker with Cartier. So yes, they're like very much supportive of one another, especially when it comes to award seasons. And Kylie's definitely going through it right now. And her paying for the funeral costs is like, I don't know why people like act surprised. Like she's actually very generous and this is like no skin off her back. I'm sure she's doing more than that, like setting his family up with stuff. So she's a queen. This is such a sad story and so many more tributes have been rolling in. Actually was just reading a really beautiful one this morning from Shay Mitchell, who has worked with him for many years. And it seems like he was really like good with kids too, because so many of the things that I've seen is like pictures of him and everybody's kids.
Yeah. It's
really sad.
It is really sad. But they had a GoFundMe set up for his funeral costs, and then she covered the whole thing. So they said like the money that was raised previously will go towards costs associated with securing his belongings, home, and other unexpected expenses to settle his assets.
Yeah.
So that just like makes this really difficult time a little bit easier for his family, which is very kind.
And I did see the GoFundMe, and like I wanted to see like what celebrities had donated, because you can like look by like the most, you could sort the donator, like the amount, the donations by amounts, and so many celebrities like donating between like $1,000 and $5,000. A bunch of anonymous people in there with like 10K. So like I don't know who that was, but it seems like this was like a person who a lot of people worked with, but also really loved.
Yeah. So
it's a really sad story.
Very sad. What's going to be our fifth and final story is a little more Hollywood news.
Oh, two Hollywood big tycoons like ourselves talking about our fellow Hollywood big tycoons.
Exactly.
And is it brought to you by Squarespace?
It is.
So thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's episode. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. So whether you're just starting out or you're managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place and all on your terms. So there's a million different reasons why you might want to get started on a website or redo your current website. And Squarespace is really the best in the biz, especially with their design intelligence. So they combine 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to unlock your strongest creative potential. Design intelligence empowers anyone to build a beautiful, more personalized website tailored to their unique needs and craft a bespoke digital identity to use across one's entire online presence. Also, Squarespace payments. So a lot of people will get an website up and running for like an e-commerce business to be able to generate revenue. And so Squarespace Payments is the easiest way to manage your payments in one place. Onboarding is fast and simple. You get started with just a few clicks and you could start receiving payments right away. Plus, you're giving your customers tons of options in terms of ways to pay with popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay if you're in the UK. So head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/toast and you will save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Again, that free trial is available at squarespace.com. And once you're ready to launch, squarespace.com/toast will get you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quince. Who doesn't love the good things in life? Even though we enjoy a little bit of luxury, that doesn't mean you always want to spend it, to be honest. Until you're going to discover Quince, and it truly changes everything. And Quince has become our go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices. So they offer a range of high-quality items at prices within reach. So they have, Mongolian cashmere sweaters starting at just $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, 14-karat gold jewelry. And so I know you're going to say, like, well, I can't buy all of these things. But the best part is that Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do that by partnering directly with top factories. They're cutting out the cost of the middleman and then passing the savings on to you. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, which we love. Their pieces are timeless. They're so well made. Everything I have from Quince, I was like, felt like a real steal when buying it, but also it has really withstood like many seasons. So many of their cashmere sweaters I have great black trousers, great cardigans, and I've had these pieces for like multiple seasons. And it's just so refreshing to be able to wear things like year after year and they don't start to deteriorate like some of my other clothes. So give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/toast for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/toast to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/toast, quince.com/TOAST.
Thank you, /Chert.
You're welcome.
So our fifth and final story has actually been a last-minute swap for some breaking news.
Oh, fuck. I love breaking news.
Real Housewife Karen Huger gets a far longer prison sentence than she expected for her DUI. She has been sentenced to 2 years in jail with 1 year suspended over her DUI conviction. Huger arrived in court on Wednesday with her husband Ray to learn her fate following her convictions for several driving under the influence offenses after she crashed her Maserati in Maryland in March 2024. Prosecutors had asked for the Bravo star to serve 6 months in jail, but the judge gave her the highest possible sentence as it was not her first DUI.
It wasn't?
Huger's lawyers asked the judge to go soft on her, arguing she was grieving her parents' death and struggling with antidepressants. They said Miss Huger's mother died on Thanksgiving morning in 2017 from kidney failure and sepsis. Her father died 7 months later on June 18th from the complications of Alzheimer's and of a broken heart. Those 2 losses in quick succession were for Miss Huger personally devastating, and in her opinion may have been the straws that broke her back, arguably leading to several errors in judgment. However, she was found guilty of driving at a speed too high for the conditions before she ultimately struck a median and 2 signs. Now she has been sentenced with 2 years in prison.
I had no idea that like jail time was even on the table for Karen Huger. And I don't know if I necessarily knew that you could go to jail for a DUI. Every time when I think of like celebrities with DUIs, like it's like slap on the wrist, community service, paying a fine. Justin Timberlake, he had to make that cringe video.
I think it's very different if it's your first versus your second.
And also every state has different laws. But like I just didn't know that this was even an option.
Well, and also some people get a DUI and they go to jail for a few days or a week, like
right.
back in the
Khloe
Lindsay
Kardashian.
Lohan, Khloe, Paris Hilton era. But again, different for your first versus your second. And I just want to get clarity because they said 2 years in jail with 1 year suspended. Does that mean net 1 year in jail?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but I'm sure, I don't know what the hell that means. I'm shocked. I'm also so conflicted. You know how I feel about DUIs. Punish them to the highest extent of the law. It's seriously the dumbest, most dangerous, selfish, disgusting thing you could do. But Karen Huger is my fucking queen. And I know she's better than this, and I know she has a good heart, but she did that shit. So I don't know. I'm really confused.
Yeah. No, and she had been arrested I think in like 2006 for drunk driving. Like strikes
established a pattern.
Really matter. That is not something you could do once, let alone more than once. And now she's serving up to a year in jail, I guess. It definitely seems harsh, especially because the prosecution was only going for 6 months and like that. But
right.
Like,
the judge said, hold my beer.
Like you really can kill someone, and she crashed. It's not like she just was pulled over. They noticed she was being weird. Like she literally crashed, and that could have been a person. And then she would be facing, like, I don't know what the law is in that state, but a lifetime in jail.
So this is the third housewife to go to prison. Teresa, Jen Shah.
Karen
Have there
Huger.
been any others? Like Luann's been arrested, but she didn't go to jail.
No.
But see, Luann was just being drunk and disorderly. Like she was drunk in a hotel and then like slapped a cop, which is terrible, but different than a DUI. So I understand why it's just also crazy because like, I feel like I almost wish I didn't get this news breaking because I need time to digest it. Like I'm feeling, this is so personal to me, DUIs, but also Karen Huger. Mm-hmm. It's not very grand dame of her. This
is really shocking. The length.
The extent.
Yeah. Especially because she's like an older woman. I don't know. It's just like really sad.
But I guess it not being your first like makes a huge difference.
Huge. With all crime.
Yeah. Like she's got a rap sheet.
Yeah. So
shit.
We'll see what happens there. Now, speaking of Bravo, time for our Real Housewives.
I don't know how to transition. Recap. Like I'm seriously, I can't get over this.
I know. Not expected at all.
I also can't see her in jail. I can't picture it. Teresa, I could picture. Jen Shah, I could picture. Like these are tough broads.
No, Karen is so tough. Karen is so tough.
She is, but she's a fragile old woman.
That's true.
She's a 60-year-old.
Also like
maybe more,
as they shared, and it probably hasn't been the same since. That's really traumatizing. But it doesn't mean you can get behind the wheel of your car drunk and like on pills.
Oh my God. Okay, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I just need to like quickly shift my mindset.
2
Caviar
episodes.
Caspia.
4th of July party, Caviar Caspia. Like seriously, bring me a fucking baked potato with caviar right now.
Yeah, the 4th of July party like had so much potential to be a fun afternoon because it just looked party. Like she made it really nice, and it was destroyed.
And it seemed like nobody wanted to be there already.
Yeah,
and
they were looking for an excuse.
The first 3 people who came were like the We Hate Dorit club, so the vibes were off from the start. But then everyone's like complaining that it's hot. Like it's 4th of July in California. Of course it's hot. Like can everyone cheer up? This is a beautiful party. Look at that spread. Look at that hot dog cart.
The hot dog. When it comes to Dorit and Sutton, I'm like so fiercely team Dorit. With the events at the July 4th thing, like Dorit wasn't helping herself. Like for the first time, I didn't find her like 100% like defensible. Like she was being like a shit stir, like starting stuff, but she hates Sutton. So like, I get that when you hate someone, like you start stuff.
Yeah, but like when you hate someone and you guys have beef, like, no, you cannot make a joke. Like, of course, everything's going to be taken out of context. But I actually, and in that moment, of course, like Dorit was wrong and then Sutton was wronger.
Yep.
But then when she was explaining it, Caviar Caspia, like if she was like, if you just said to me, like Dorit, that upsets me, don't say that.
Yes.
Like it would have changed. Like Sutton didn't have to react like that, but it's really hard in the moment to like and Sutton was already on one. She came, she didn't want to be there. She waited, she didn't want to be there. The thing with the Birkin was very awkward. She didn't want to be there. And then the comment about the alcohol, and she didn't want to be there. But Sutton also acting like Dorit's the only one who ever commented about Sutton's alcohol consumption. And then I love that they flash back to like everything that was said about it. And like the thing is, I think Sutton drinks a lot, but I don't think she has a problem. Like there are plenty of people like that.
Yep.
So,
but the thing is, I now no longer care about like who was right, who was wrong about like the July 4th stuff, because the Caviar Caspia wallet conversation was so crazy. And somebody I saw on Twitter pulled a tweet. I had forgotten about this moment where at a reunion, this came up just like about her being very like hoity-toity about money. And somebody asked Crystal, like, do you think Sutton Strack like wields her money as a weapon and like uses it to make herself feel secure? And Crystal was like, no, but that's because I have more money than her. When she was asked like if it was directly about her. And so it's true where she sees like a lack of money, because Dorit's money is very curious, right? She sees that as a weakness. And so, I mean, I understand that she's proud of how far she's come in this life, but like it's really crazy.
Yeah. Also, it seems like after July 4th, Sutton has been completely activated to become like the worst possible version of herself. She wants to take down Dorit at all costs, and she's going to dig in on the fact that Dorit doesn't have a lot of money, which is like a really weird thing to do, and not something that's probably going to play well with the Bravo audience.
With the
Except
audience.
I was looking on Twitter, and people are like, yeah, like it's like they're here
Well,
for...
people have wanted Dorit's financial like situation to be brought up for a couple of years, because there have been big stories that have largely been ignored, like his gambling debts, the tax stuff, the lawyer
you know what?
thing.
They pay their rent, they pay their mortgage, they pay their taxes. They're still in the house. Like, until something happens, I have to move on from it.
She
has new clothes. She has boxes everywhere. Everything she's wearing is this season. She's got far-fetched receipts in the house. Like, I'm sorry, there's nothing there at the moment. I think when they get divorced, things will come to light. But as of right now, like, it's there's nothing. So, but for her to decide, like, I'm going after Dorit and I'm going to make it about money was, like, seriously the worst idea.
Strategy.
She completely lost everyone, like, all of the women. That's just, like, and she's calling her in her confessional poor read. Like,
and the women in this particular group actually do not like to talk about money.
Like, you are on the wokest network. Like, what do you think? You think this is a sleigh?
Yeah, no. And this is like one thing, the women, and they all like, even though they all want everybody's drama to be brought to the forefront, they never talk about Dorit's money stuff. Like, money is something, it's like in Beverly Hills with this particular group of women, they don't talk about it. Like, it's déclassé, it's somewhere they don't go. So it immediately separated everyone from Dorit. Everybody took a step back.
Talking about money is déclassé. And I think the more money you have, the less you want to talk about it. Like, someone like Sutton, who's obviously from money, married money, just has money pouring out of her purses and her wallets, like, is the last person who should talk about money, because she is so much higher.
And so what is she saying? Like, her and Dorit aren't on the same level,
that
and they
Dorit
shouldn't even fight
start with her because she has more money. Like, what is your money even, like, not only is that an awful thing to say, but like, practically speaking, why can't you fight with someone who has more money? What are you going to do to her?
It's not a good argument. And Jennifer Tilly, who is really growing on me, she was being really funny this episode when talking about caviar.
She was really growing on me. And I loved all the tidbits about the caviar. Like, I seriously loved.
She talks like a poor person, you know? Like, she's like, when you go to Caviar Caspia in Paris, you're usually hoping somebody else picks up the bill. And she is so funny. She's like, and I would eat all the caviar, except it's too expensive. Like, she was acting poor.
She's also like, I don't know what's the best kind. I ordered the most expensive one. I don't know if that's crass.
Facts.
Meanwhile,
she was being really cute.
Right. And it was like a really great display of like two women who have so much wealth, Jennifer and Sutton. And then like Sutton is being such a snob about the caviar, saying how like Dorit can eat salmon roe. Like, I know it's like stupid, but it's so fucking classist. Like, we don't talk like that. That's not how like civilized people talk to each other. So like, I think she completely buried herself with that. And that she says in her confessional, I'm proud I said it. I would say it again 2 more times, 3 more. Like, it's seriously crazy. And whatever, if Dorit was ever wrong, which, you know, to me, she never was. She's certainly not now.
No, she was never wrong.
And
but with the July 4th thing in particular, like, Sutton had a little bit of a leg to stand on. Like, stop starting with me.
But then at the table, she was like, when Dorit was like, apologize. When Garcelle was like, apologize to her. And so she apologized. It didn't feel that genuine. But then she was like, no, if I hurt your feelings, I offended you, like, I am sorry. I just wish you would have told me that upset you. And then think of all the things that Dorit could say to Sutton. And she doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
She said in her confessional, all your money's gotten you is a horse and not a date. But she doesn't go there. She has not sunk very low. What, to make a comment about her alcohol? They all drink. Dorit has a drink in her hand in every episode.
No, it's so true. But she's sort of opened the door now to talk about, oh, we're going low. Okay, let's talk about the fact that you've literally have not earned a single dollar that you have. You were born to it and you married it. Like, okay, so why does that make you better than me?
And by the way, I feel like there's even like meaner things that you could say.
What are you thinking of? I feel like you're thinking of something
not
specific.
Something I'll tell you later. Not something like specific. Not something like an event or anything like that.
I don't know what you're referring to, like this big obvious thing.
Okay, we'll talk offline. But anyways, I just feel like I don't. How do you even answer to that at the reunion? While also having said in your confessional months later, like I completely stand by that.
Right.
But then I was also confused because the fans on Twitter like are on Sutton's side with that. And they're like,
they are?
Yeah, they're like, it's giving like Nene leaks, I'm rich, bitch. That's not what it was. It wasn't a it wasn't an empowering thing about oneself. It was putting someone else down.
Yeah, and Nene was being pushed into a corner. Like they were doubting her success. She said, "I cash Trump checks. I am rich, bitch." Like, first of all, don't even compare yourself to the great Nene Leakes. Like you could never.
Right, and Sutton wasn't saying I'm an amazing, wealthy woman because if she wants to congratulate herself all day long, go ahead.
But Nene's a self-made woman. That's why she could say shit like that.
No, but it's also then she didn't turn around and call someone poor.
Right. She was just defending herself.
Yeah. So if Sutton wants to talk about how much money she has, but not in relation to like what other people do or don't have, okay, fine. It's about poor Reed.
Yeah, it's
when
really crazy.
When I heard her say poor Reed, and I watched with subtitles, otherwise I might have missed it.
Got it. I missed it.
I texted you. I said, poor Reed?
I said, did you just make that up or did somebody say that? You're like, no, Sutton said it in her confessional. I was like, oh, I totally missed that.
So she's going all in on this. Meanwhile, Dorita's going all in on her confessionals about Sutton when she was like, you could tell it's like all
activated.
Everything's off because she was like, I mean, I don't know why Sutton would have such an issue with me making a joke about her drinking unless there's something really dark and sinister there. And it's like, oh, she's
and there's not.
No, I know.
There's not. But now we can say whatever we want.
Now we can say whatever we want.
Like we're just saying crazy things.
Also, Faye Resnick with the icebreaker.
By the way, Faye Resnick was looking very pargy.
And she was really adding a lot to the conversation in the sense of jovial jests and ice-breaking.
And Kathy's now made an appearance in 2 episodes back-to-back after being gone for most of the season, and she's giving us nothing.
No, Kathy
is she getting paid?
Because, like, even though I love Bose, but, like, Bose sitting at Kathy's house being like, Kyle's cold, and, like, I don't get her, and I don't like her. And Kathy's like, yummy. Like, yeah, that's so crazy. That's your sister. Like, don't let someone talk like that.
I want to say something about Bose, who I have loved, and I still do. But like from the moment I met her, I haven't had a negative thing to say about her. And now after a couple of weeks, I have a negative thing to say. Being a first season housewife and coming on with a story like I want to get pregnant, even though like we know you're not, like it's just a storyline. It's really unacceptable behavior. Like it's unacceptable behavior. It's such a trope, you know, like remember when that one season Melissa Gorga was like, I'm going to get pregnant. And we're like, no, you're not. Like it's bottom of the barrel when you're not going to do it. It's bottom of the barrel. I can't stand it. And also thank you for reminding me. The most dreadful 10 minutes of my life was that scene with Kyle and her life coach. Like how that passed.
Got a snack, went to the bathroom, took my magnesium for the evening, spoke
how
to
that passed
Bruno,
the Bechdel test.
Turned on the heated blanket for him. I don't know what was said. And by the way, I missed his subtitle of who his name is. So I had no idea who that person on her
life coach.
I didn't know that. I thought like, I don't know, man, I don't know.
I am filing a class action lawsuit to Bravo. If you'd like to join, send me a message. It was positively dreadful. Although she did say one thing.
I fed my starter.
Right. She did say one thing that made me like feel for her. Because I feel like when we talk about divorce, we always talk about how like, you know, the woman gets the house and she should. But Kyle was like, I almost wish I didn't because he gets to go have this fun new life in a new apartment. And I'm left here in this house that everybody used to be at. And because it's also timing up with like all of her kids being out of the house, she's like so aware of everything she's lost while all he sees is this new exciting life. I was like, that actually does suck. Even though you would think like you should get the house. The house kind of is like a curse.
Yeah, no, she's stuck with all the memories and all the tethers and the anchors. And he just gets like pick out pargy furniture in a pargy apartment.
Right.
But also because their kids are out of the house, she does like Dorit should get her house. Her kids need her house.
Yes,
but then Dorit
exactly.
might wind up in an apartment, and that would be sad. It just really depends.
When you have young kids, like to keep some sense of stability, like the mother keeps the house, like it makes sense. But with Kyle's kids being grown, I'm like, oh, that does sound like kind of miserable and lonely.
Yeah, and like they moved in a few years ago, but it takes time to settle, and I'm sure she was probably like just starting to feel like at home, and then it goes and changes again. But yeah, that was a tough watch. To answer what you said about Bose and the pregnancy journey, I don't mind it. I found it very interesting. However, and at first when I'm like, she's 47 and she wants to have a baby, it's like giving Diana Jenkins, like, and
these people haven't even said I love you yet.
Oh no, but I'm like, that's biblical. It's fascinating. And like, if she could do it at 47, like I would love to see that. But then to find out that she actually had 2 extremely high risk pregnancies,
yes,
that she should not have another, let alone an older, that this is a bad idea. And if she wants a baby, like maybe a surrogate should have it or something. Then I'm like, what, why?
I mean, I'm sorry. The idea that her and this man would have a baby together and they're like doing ultrasounds in her living room when they haven't even exchanged I love yous. Please stop wasting my time.
Oh, I didn't feel that way. And I do love that like Bose brings everything in-house. That was nice to see.
Yes.
That you could literally get a sonogram
Get an ultrasound in your living room. And I just want to say, I love her. And I haven't said a bad word about her. And I won't again, because the way she like blindly stands up for Dorit, like that's the kind of support Dorit needs right now. And she is
Erica
etched in my book.
Best. First of all, she does always come in for Dorit, but like, she's not wrong in the things that she's saying. Like when she said that they're rude for being in the corner, like I haven't found her to like blindly and wrongly defend Dorit yet.
Not wrongly, yeah.
She comes in, she calls it how she sees it, and she's been like 10 for 10 so far. When Erica said like everyone needs to stop being so threatened by Dorit and Bose's friendship, that's exactly what it is. Like two people sometimes people click faster than other people. You might think you get along with someone, but they just connected with someone faster and stronger. And like, I think people are mad that Dorit has this person in her corner who is having her back, and Dorit isn't like...
And in a really fierce kind of way.
Yeah, Dorit isn't on an island. And Erica has her back too, but she also has Kyle's back, and she definitely plays the fence. But it's nice. And the thing is, Sutton also, and Erica said this, like Garcelle does the same thing for Sutton, like always.
Oh,
so if it's gonna be Dorit versus Sutton and Garcelle, like she deserves to have.
Then why not Dorit and Bose?
Right. They just don't like it.
Yeah, they don't, because Bose is a formidable opponent.
Yeah.
And she don't fuck around.
I do like their friendship, and I'm glad that Dorit has that.
Has her. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then also I thought the window into Dorit's room and Kyle seeing that like really put things into perspective when Kyle was like, Dorit is a very meticulous person. She's very clean. Like to see her bedroom look like this. Yeah. And it's so funny because Dorit is so open, and she gets accused of not being open. When she's literally sitting down, she's like, I don't even see it. I'm not myself. Like I would never, like I don't see, there's dead orchids there. I can't see it. Like I feel like everyone acts like she doesn't share what's going on, but like it's literally right there in front of you. So if she says an off remark, like she's not herself, and she's trying to tell everyone that.
No, and there's no grace given.
Yeah, the boxes, like that really was so crazy for someone who even her best friend knows like she wouldn't live like that.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have Summer House. And I've been seeing whispers online that some of the Spritz drama starts tonight.
Yeah.
If that's true, I can't wait.
I saw that the
text message.
Like, Paige shows a text message. I saw someone like, as much as they could transcribe what's in the message, like, is this play about us? Yes. I can't friggin' wait.
I can't friggin' wait not to make everything about us, but you're going to want to tune into tomorrow's Summer House recap. Don't forget to use code Craig20 at SpritzSociety.com.
I hope it's not like a to be continued and we just are getting the beginning of it.
That's totally what it is.
Yeah.
That's our show, you guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast the Millennial Morning Show, where we deliver the fast 5 stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So if you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. We are also available as podcasts anywhere podcasts can be found. So that's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, CastBox, all the places. Wherever you listen to podcasts, find us a Toast, leave a 5-star review about how beautiful, about how stunning, and about how wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.